Residents of southeastern Louisiana are over 50% more likely to develop cancer than the average American. That's how the region earned the title Cancer Alley. The story behind Cancer Alley illustrates how industrial growth, environmental policy, and historical inequality can shape the health of an entire region. I am a civil engineering major and currently researching risk assessment protocols for chemical manufacturers. I've been studying the relationship between industrial regions and public health. The rapid decline of plantation agriculture in southeastern Louisiana paved the way for the rise of chemical manufacturing throughout the region. Shifts in political power dynamics led to the concentration of chemical plants in specific communities. These factors culminated in the region's transformation into Cancer Alley. To understand how Cancer Alley came to exist, we need to start at the beginning, with the collapse of Louisiana's plantation economy. The downfall of plantation agriculture in Louisiana left a vacuum that was filled by emerging petrochemical manufacturers. The shuttered plantations left large stretches of land along the Mississippi River vacant and unused. The land was flat, cheap, and close to the river, which empties into the Gulf, giving factories easy access to water for cooling, waste disposal, and transport. The closure of the plantations also left an economic void. Since their economy was based on plantation agriculture, the region never fully recovered. State and local officials were eager for companies to fill the vacancies and revitalize the region. So, petrochemical companies hit the jackpot. Louisiana provided an abundance of cheap land in an ideal location and desperate government officials who happened to be in charge of creating regulations and issuing permits. The power dynamics between the chemical manufacturers and the local government became clear fairly quickly, ending with the government agreeing to allow plants to open and operate within specific sacrifice zones. Most communities didn't want the unsightly, foul-smelling factories near their residences, but they still wanted the plants nearby so they could reap the economic benefits. Louisiana's solution to this location problem, according to environmental lawyer Julie Metters, was the creation of the 1926 Standard State Zoning Enabling Act, which eventually gave control over zoning to local parishes. With this new law, many of the poor, predominantly black communities were left unincorporated, which made them easy for the parishes to rezone as industrial instead of residential. The wealthy manufacturers quickly became the dominant power in the region and ensured only the politicians in line with their own interests were the ones that were making the decisions. Their dominance exists even today, where the chemical corridor manufacturers enjoy some of the loosest toxic waste regulations in the United States. Present-day Cancer Alley is home to the highest levels of toxic pollution in all three categories: air, water, and soil. According to anthropology professor Merrill Singer, Louisiana officials are the ones responsible for issuing permits to factories for releasing toxic chemicals. Many factories, such as DuPont and Shell Chemicals, are permitted to release toxic waste at volumes far beyond what the EPA deems to be safe. Some of the most common and harmful pollutants include chloroprene, vinyl chloride, and ethylene oxide. All of these chemicals are classified as carcinogens by the EPA, and exposure to them can cause various types of cancer and other health conditions. One resident interviewed by Singer gave the following statement: "When I bathe my grandson in the water, his skin on his toes comes off, it peels off, and his hands too, peeling in the water. He is 6 years old. Because of the lack of regulation enforcement and Louisiana's economic dependence on these industries, there is no end in sight for the ongoing pollution of Cancer Alley." Now you know how Cancer Alley came to be. The collapse of Louisiana's plantation economy left behind vulnerable land and vulnerable people. Chemical manufacturers moved in and political power shifted quickly in their favor. The health consequences are clearly visible and still plague the communities of southeastern Louisiana today. Earlier I mentioned that the residents of Cancer Alley are over 50% more likely to develop cancer than the average American. That statistic alone shows the importance of understanding the conditions that allowed for this to happen to those people.